Let's talk about the very important diversity piece as well. Your show is very inclusive. You spent some time with First Nations people. What did you learn through those experiences?
Yeah, I think that there is a lot of information that we need to translate about the way of life that's just so ingrained in those cultures. Like, for example, the connection with nature. Like, nature, we know, there's actually a new prescription program called Parks Prescription that's being rolled out by the government to prescribe nature to people. And when I was up there, the Torngat Mountains only has Inuit park rangers working there in bear guards. And so one of the main reasons that people go up there is just to reconnect with nature, and the attitudes and the insight that they have around it, because it's been the way of life, is just really insightful for us, and really something that's so far connected and we could all learn a lot from. The other thing I thought was really interesting was, again, like we went dog sledding in Goose Bay with Scott Hudson, who's a Métis, and he was talking about the use of dog sleds and their way of life, and how they were not only just having, it wasn't like a pet, it was for survival. You had to go, and you had to go hunt and fish and gather wood, or go to the next town or whatever, and that was all via dog sled. And so, you know, I just feel like it was a real awareness for us to get a better glimpse of it. We also learned a lot about places like Hebron and some of the relocation that occurred for people there, and those are things that we could all take a lesson from about, you know, some of the challenges that those communities faced in the past.
That must have been an amazing, heartwarming, and heart-wrenching story. Can we talk a little about, we have time to talk about the relocation?
Yeah, I mean, totally. We were brought up to Hebron, where we met with the gentleman who's restoring the mission there. And so, you know, the story that we were translated, at least, and I'm sure that I'm going to be missing parts of this, but essentially, you know, there was a population that was based out of there, and at one point they decided to relocate everybody and move further down towards Nain. And when that transition happened, people were sent to different communities and separated from their family members. There were certain things that were not the way they expected when they got there. For example, language was a huge barrier, housing was a huge barrier, and access to hunting grounds, which weren't the same as they had historically lived in. And so there was a whole adjustment, and it was really challenging and really devastating for the people. And we got a chance to talk to several people that were reconnecting, because their family was in there originally, and it was quite emotional to see that. And, you know, for us, we had a real glimpse. It was a really we were very fortunate to see that, because that's a view that a lot of people don't get, especially given the fact that maybe I'm a European background, and the people that were there to reconnect with their cultural past.